This here is my old PC, more formally known as my mom's new PC. Now, for those of you who don't somehow already know, I have a very nice Digital Storm Lynx gaming PC, and it's a level 4 edition, which means back in the day, it was like the highest tiered Lynx you could get. Obviously, that's not the case now, but before this PC, I had this beautiful thing right here, a pre-built Alienware. And yes, this thing cost maybe $600, and the technology that was in it was not super awesome, but for 2005, it was quite something. Now, the basis of today's video is that I'm gonna clean this thing because I haven't cleaned this since I got back from Florida, which was almost 4 years ago. Plus, it's been through some hell, that's for sure, since my mom's been using it because she doesn't know how to use computers. But reality is, this thing is probably 13 years old. I kid you not, probably even older than that. It still runs somehow, and I honestly don't even remember when I actually cleaned it. It may have been from Florida, I don't really know. I actually don't think so because even though I had this in Florida, I shipped it back, and I don't know if my dad ever cleaned this one. We had 2 of them, so this could be the other one. Who actually knows? Without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm gonna show you guys the parts and pieces of it, and then we're gonna clean it and see how bad it is. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so the process begins of actually dismantling, like opening up the cover of this gaming PC. Obviously, today's gaming PC does not look like this, and if you do have one that looks like this, I'm very sorry. But this Alienware actually has a screw in the back that you have to get out first. We got that. Alright, so now all it is a matter of pushing this guy out, which is a little cover. It's gonna be horrible to get in. So it actually doesn't look all that bad. Like, there is dust, but there's not like a bad amount of it. And so we spray it out. So what we do have here is we have the motherboard in the back. We have a fan here, which is just like a CPU cooler. Looks like we have a hard drive here, and then we have the GPU here. I don't even know what GPU this is, but it can't look that nice because this thing is from 2005. A lot of it's covered with metal, and to remove that metal is not only hard, but to put it back in is even harder. So we're not going to even touch that. The reality is we're just going to simply air it out, and that's going to be it. Alright, so I have my compressor here filled with air. It's going to be pretty loud, so headphone users, I do warn you right now. Without further ado, let's go and see and get this. That's quite surprising. That was actually surprisingly clean for that long. So guys, here's the thing. When you have a modern gaming PC or a workstation that actually has parts that you can thoroughly take out easily, what I'm talking about is basically like unscrewing a few screws, unplugging like a single cord or like the 8-prong cord or 6-prong cord, whatever it may be, 4-prong, and then just taking it out by the motherboard, the little switch and the little clip in the back. But that's kind of crazy because obviously if we can take out all this, more than likely there's going to be probably a lot of dust, but I'm not even going to bother touching it, otherwise this thing is toast. I genuinely have tried, and that's the reason why we threw out one of them, was because I did that exact thing and we couldn't even figure out how to put it in. My dad, who's an electrical engineer, couldn't even figure it out either. So the modernized gaming PCs definitely want to take out your GPU. The GPU is easy because you can just take out the screws that are in the back, then all you have to do is unplug the 6, 4, or 8-prong. Mine specifically is an 8-prong, and then you just unhook it from the back of the motherboard, very carefully not touching anything on the motherboard, and then you just pull it out with ease. And then you can clean the GPU separately, you can clean everything in there, the motherboard, everything. This one, I won't lie, this is going to be no longer cleanable. I think what it is right now is the best it's gonna get. But it's actually really surprising that it didn't even get that bad. After all these years of not cleaning it, it just kind of stayed somewhat decent. So that's the objective of trying to put this back together, because this is probably gonna be a mission and a half, because of course you gotta line it up with like its little hinges. I think I got it. No, I didn't. This is the problem.
I like to be educated.
But come on. Oh my god. One reason why I hate cleaning this PC. I just want to pop something in place. Yep, I got it. Okay. Wow. Yep, I got it. Okay, so I just had to pop a little plastic piece into place. So now that that's done, now we can go ahead and screw this little screw back in, and the PC is, I mean, fairly clean. So since we got this one clean, I'm actually going to clean my gaming PC as well to show you guys the difference in the overall build of everything, so that way I can show you guys the taking out of the GPU and then actually cleaning everything thoroughly there. Because mine is a modernized gaming PC from 2019, so this is 2005. And hopefully you guys will be able to clean yours afterwards safely. Okay, so now I have my gaming PC. So what I'm gonna do first is obviously take off the glass part of it, and this is a tempered glass. Still break very, very easily. So what we're gonna do is just go ahead and take this guy off. Let's pull it unscrewed, if I can. Okay. We got that. Tempered glass is fully off now. Obviously, we can see that it is a little bit dustier just on the outside than what the other one was. So next thing that I like to do is go ahead and take the GPU out. So what I like to do next is actually take out my GPU. Now the thing is, I actually have the tabs for the DisplayPort and HDMI cables plugged still in. So I do like to take these out. We got those things here. Now what we're gonna do is go ahead and unscrew it. So there's actually 4 different screws for this GPU, and they are in the very back of the PC. And these things are really small, and you have to make sure that you don't lose them. So let's see, we'll put them over here where I don't think anyone will get them. Now you do have to think about this. When you're unscrewing and you're at a vertical position at this point in time, now gravity is being fed, so the GPU can fall. So what I'm doing is basically taking the screws out every other one, so that way it's still supported. Now we're on number 3, and now this is where you might see the GPU fall a little bit. That's perfectly fine. Again, it's just gravity feeding it. So now it's gonna start falling because the other screw's out. So now it is technically really bad to let it just fall, but I'm gonna have to do it. So this is the really important part. Since we all know that CPUs, when you touch a CPU barehanded, it could potentially short everything out because you do carry static with you. Even though I do have shoes on, it's still possible. So the GPU is the same way. And the GPU motherboard is on the very top, like the chip. So it's very important to make sure you don't touch it, even though I've touched it multiple times, and that's probably why my GPU doesn't work anymore. But I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it from the power supply. And then next thing, what I've said in the very beginning of anything, is to take it out of the motherboard itself. So the PC motherboard. Very carefully, just press the button. And take the GPU out, if I can. Very carefully, you don't want to snap at your prongs. There we go. So now I've taken the GPU fully out. This is a 2070. The next thing is just really air blood. So we're gonna do the GPU first. Again, don't touch it. Mind the turbine. There's already a lot of blood. I think the GPU is all done. I don't think it really has that much dust in it, so that's all right. Okay, so now the fun part is to get the actual PC itself. So we're gonna start with the top. There's a lot of dust actually up here. You can see it. So this is like the air filter, like the screen so nothing goes in. So I put in the motherboard. Now something cool that maybe a lot of you have never known about is actually the front of the Digital Storm, like maybe even all gaming PCs, is that you can actually take this front cover off. And this is where most of your dust collects. Yep, it's already dusty, I can see it. It's pretty bad. It's actually kind of cool because this shows the back of the CPU cooler, which is a liquid cooler for me.
Out of cue, innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew.
Now listen, when you're putting this thing back on, just make sure you don't snap these plastic little hinges, because if you do, you're screwed. But that's literally all it is. It's just a matter of doing that, and then you're pretty much done. Now there really is not a whole lot more that you can really take off. I'm sure if you really want to, you can, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it. But as of this point, we have the GPU out. We've literally covered everything. And we've made sure everything is clean. And then that seems to be about it. So thank y'all so much for watching. What we're gonna do now is put on the GPU again. So this is what's gonna happen. So it's gonna be the exact same way we took it out. We're gonna carefully put it in. Okay, so that's in now. It's not gonna really do a snap, but you'll definitely know when the GPU is back in. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it back into the power supply. After that, what we're gonna do is gonna go ahead and screw this baby back in. And now we got 4 screws in. Perfect. And now what we're gonna do is go ahead and re-plug everything, that way we don't lose it. Boom. And that one. You can go ahead and put the screen back up top. I guess if you really want to call this how to clean a $2,000 gaming PC, well now you know. Just get an air compressor and that's about it. Maybe if you want to use like an eyeglass cleaner, or I should say this, an eyeglass rag cleaner. They're very, very delicate microfiber towels. And then you can go around the little gadgets to make sure they don't get hooked on anything. But that would be about it. This is done. It's nowhere near as dusty as I thought it was, but there you go. So thank y'all so much for watching. I'm glad that you enjoyed this very satisfying process. While the heater is about to turn on and get super loud in here, I want to say thank you. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Peace. More car videos on the way, just saying.